And we are back with Business RadioX Pro Tips. Lee Kantor, Stone Payton here with you. Lee, those of us in the B2B podcasting arena, sometimes we learn things the the hard way. What are some tough lessons that folks in this arena have learned over the years?
Yeah, I think podcasting was one of these things that came about. Obviously, we've been doing it for 20 years or so, but for people who are new to it, it seems easy. So they think like, oh, I'm going to just do this because everybody's doing this. It's not that difficult to pull off. But I think some of the mistakes they're making and some of the lessons they're learning the hard way are, number one is they're copying B2C formats when they have or they desire to have a B2B podcast. So they're modeling how to do a podcast by how a B2C podcaster is doing podcasts, and they're totally different things. And a B2C podcaster has different needs and has different business objectives. So if you're just copying somebody who's got a B2C podcast, you are going to fail, and you're going to fail hard, and it's not going to be good for you, and it's not going to help you grow your business. Number two is I think podcasters, new podcasters especially, underestimate the effort required. It's easy, obviously, to start a podcast, but creating a high-quality B2B podcast requires a lot of planning, strategy, and consistent effort in order to reach the goals that you're trying to reach. Number three is they focus, a B2B podcaster initially typically focuses in on downloads as the measure of success. And if you're measuring success purely by listeners rather than business impact, you're not going to be happy, and you're going to quit most likely. Number four, you don't leverage your podcasting content across other marketing channels. You're not leveraging that content in a variety of ways like blog posts, social media, things like that. You're just missing valuable opportunities to grow the podcast and to grow your company and your business objectives, because you can use this content a lot on a variety of channels, but you can use it throughout the year. It's not like you do it once and then a week later it's not good anymore. And I think the number five, and probably the most important mistake that B2B podcasters make, and one of the hardest lesson to learn, is they're not asking for help. They're trying to do this alone, and I think that's a big mistake. It's so much easier and faster to hire an expert like a Business RadioX studio operator to help, because we've fixed enough broken B2B podcasts to help anybody strategize and execute their B2B podcast. Our proven methods can ultimately make the difference between failure and success. So if you have a B2B podcast, you're considering doing one, or you have one that you're not happy with, contact us today at businessradiox.com.